Mute them now. We're streaming.
Those of you online, can you hear us?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Commissioner Sarr is joining.
Okay, what we're going to do is, officially call the meeting to order. There was a confirmation of a meeting to the public, so we have no individuals for public who has to speak. We cannot take any action because we don't have a form yet. We're one short, and we'll do it. But what we'll do is proceed through with the reports, and starting with the mediation report. So,
Good morning, everyone. You have my report before you. There are 5 cases. In the report, it says there are 5 cases in which scheduling is in process. We've gotten far enough to know that at least 4 of them will be in June, and the 5th should be in July. And the mediation that was held yesterday was also thankfully resolved, so that makes the total resolved 2 as opposed to 1. That's the report. And then there's 1 coming on May 20th. Any questions?
okay, did you all hear Simon? Okay. Quiet spoken. Any questions regarding the mediations? Okay, hearing none, let's move back to the executive director's report.
Good morning. Wanted to start out with some good news. We have signed the lease for the new location. We're expected to take, to be in there by Monday, June 3rd. We have partitions for our cubicles that they've attempted to deliver. We have some of them here. We don't have all of them, but we will be in the next couple of weeks working to get movers and getting everything moved from the temporary location to the permanent location. As requested at the last commission meeting, I have reached out to finance, and she told me just a few days ago that she would have me something before the commission meeting. but I did not receive anything, just to let you know that. Also, we are continuing to work very closely with HUD and EEOC to get on track as far as our policies and procedures as it pertains to investigating, case processing, and litigation. And I do want to mention, I don't want to take it from Cedric, he will go in more detail, that we have already met our HUD contract in comparison to last year where we didn't submit any cases. So that contract has been met. We're continuing to seek out and have staff go through professional development to make sure that they have the resources and the information that they need in order to do the job that we're asking them to do. I have before you 22 cases that were submitted and approved. And if you have any questions about any of those cases, I'm here to answer those for you.
Any questions on any of the cases that were in the commission book sent out earlier? Okay. Is that it? Okay, then let's move to budget, Brandon, budget and personnel.
Good morning. You have my report before you. Pretty straightforward. We are still running under budget this year. And I'll take any questions at this time.
Any budget or personnel questions? Okay, hearing none, let's go to enforcement.
Good morning, everyone. Cynthia took one thing from me, but that's okay. But no, we're doing good in housing. We're working on housing and employment to get those case agents down as best as possible, working with individuals and also as a group. There's one thing I do want to point out. If you look at the numbers for employment for the contract for October to September, as far as the fiscal year contract, cases submitted are 83. That number's been wrong the last couple of times. 83 is correct, not including the 11 that were turned in for this one. That's not included in that number yet because it can't be submitted to after the reconsideration period. But 83 is correct now. So that is how many cases were submitted. Cases accepted so far 52, and 31 are pending review by EEOC for payment, or for credit, I should say, which is payment for credit. Outside of that, there's not much to report this time. I'll have a lot more though in June. So any questions?
Questions for Cedric? Okay. Hearing none, let's go to the education outreach, Marianne.
Good morning. You have my report. It's pretty straightforward. The activities that we're doing, as you can see, Juan has taken on the primary responsibility of getting out and doing trainings and workshops and setting booths. And we're really excited about that. Hall of Fame is coming along nicely. We did extend the deadline for submissions through the end of this week. And at this point, we have 13 nomination packets for the Hall of Fame. So we are still planning to have it in Hopkinsville. We haven't settled on a specific date, and we do have a list of venues that we are reviewing at this point to determine which one will host the event.
And we have reached out to the executive director of the Hopkinsville Human Rights Commission, and she's working with us to coordinate the appropriate time and location for that.
Questions from Marianne? Commissioner Sarr?
Which month did you say the event's gonna be held, or you said you're still working?
Hopkinsville.
What month?
Oh, what month? I'm sorry, November.
Yeah, I wanted to just comment on, appreciated the pictures and the graph in the report. It was nice.
Thank you.
On the graph, I guess on my computer, I could not see what each of the lines were
Right.
There were several different colors and I'm trying to figure out which color went with which thing.
Okay, yeah, it kept cutting off, but basically what you're looking at are the total number of inquiries that were received either by, walk-ins, inquiries by walk-ins, by phone, by, online, and then by email. And then you have each one of those was represented by a different color. I think the main thing though that you might wanna, notice from that chart is it looks like I have a whole lot more non-jurisdictional inquiries than anyone else. And that's true, but that's also because I'm the one that gets the all the emails, all of the emails. And then we will distribute them from my desk out to the other intake personnel. So I get all the calls about things that people consider to be or know to be human rights, but aren't necessarily covered under our jurisdiction. That's why my line is so much longer or than anyone else's. But it's not that they're doing that much less work. It's just that I get the initial call and then distribute those.
So it should be 13 categories or is there something less? I guess I'm still,
And
some of the red look like,
everybody turns in the same thing. Okay.
okay,
So where you see Stovall will have JD inquiries, she'll have non-jurisdictional inquiries, she'll have inquiries received by phone, which might be the yellow ones, inquiries received by walk-in, and inquiries received by online submissions. And I did make another chart for you all to pass out that was a lot more legible that you could actually understand. I just left it on my desk, but I'll be happy to run down and get it.
I think that what he was saying is that the red and the oranges, we can't tell what is what.
What's red, what's orange?
In the chart.
Oh,
Yeah, we can't tell if it's actually orange, red, or.
we can correct the colors, but let me run down while you all do the other report, then I'll come back with the one that actually makes sense.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, and we'll just show you guys one when I get it back up here. Okay,
okay, we now have a quorum, so let us, I guess, formally call the meeting to order for us to take action, and the item up for approval is consideration approval of the minutes of the April 18th, 2024 meeting. Is there a motion regarding those minutes? Motion to accept them.
So move.
Okay, we move second that those minutes be accepted. All those in favor, raise your hand. Opposed, like sign. Okay, those minutes are in fact approved. So while Mary Ann runs to get that chart, let's go to Colton legal units. How was Paducah?
Oh, Paducah was wonderful. I think the people really learned a lot about fair housing. We had a giant crowd there of about 200. So it was a good experience all around. But good morning. Otherwise, no material changes to the report. You'll see that we are moving cases along. An update on the regs. I'll be in Frankfurt next month to finalize those. The changes that we've made this round, June 11th is the meeting in Frankfurt. So by the time the next meeting date rolls around, I will have hopefully minimal updates to that. Hopefully nothing goes on there except for just, routine, them accepting them as they are, and then we move on. I don't have any further comment, but I'm happy to take some questions if anybody has anything.
Are there any questions for Colt on the legal unit report or any of the cases listed? Okay, hearing none. I don't think there are any committee reports. Any new business? Okay, no new business. Our next meeting will be June the 20th. Yes,
Excuse me.
Commissioner.
Just one observation. And I know that you, Chair Burst, are doing things related to voting here in Louisville. I have been very moved I don't know if everyone is aware of the Project 2025 agenda that has been expressed by the Heritage Foundation. It's a near 1,000-page document of the agenda for presidential transition and how it impacts a lot of things. I don't want to get too political about this, but I do think that we as a commission need to pull that up if you haven't seen it and just read through it as it would relate to if a certain individual is elected president, the agenda that is already strategically planned and mapped out for this nation. One of the things that I would like to say, being at a college, there is a push to move to state accreditors as opposed to regional accreditors. All of the accrediting agencies, federal, nationally, regional, or national, there's a push to move to state accreditation of colleges, which can impact what is taught in the institutions, etc. So there's a lot on the landscape that I think as a commission, we need to, here in Kentucky, be aware of, because we have our own state and its issues that have been mentioned in the previous meeting. A lot of these things I consider to be very oppressive to people. And I just kind of wanted to bring that to the forefront. Project 2025, and there is a 180-day plan of transition, and all of that is very well structured and organized, and it's quite concerning. So I just wanted to make sure we as a commission were aware of that.
Thanks for that, Frank. I think that, anytime I see anything that says Heritage Foundation, I immediately put up a red flag, and don't go pay it page one. But I think, to your point, it's probably items in there which we ought to be aware of. And again, as we, get in a position to be able to make more public statements, or at least more statements, we're aware of that in terms of the process. So. Yes.
A couple quick things. Number one, the reason that Commissioner Kamara isn't here is yet another community program that he's created and leading in Lexington. And just as a commission, I think we should be extremely proud to have Commissioner Kamara on our commission with what he's doing today and with what he does every day. I secondly want to say he didn't think he could make the whole meeting, and it seems like he's going to make the whole meeting. And I think the fact, I know he's here, but the reason he isn't here.
Right.
So he didn't think he was going to be able to make the whole meeting. But the meeting is, I think, shorter than they used to be. And I think that speaks incredibly to the efforts of Cedric, of Sana, of Colt, of Karen, and of course, our director. And I think that should be mentioned. A lot of changes have happened over the last 18 months, moving being the smallest one of them. And that's a huge change. And I think that should be recognized, that this is how this is supposed to roll. So thank you to all of you. And lastly, there is a story in here in the commission book. Sorry, I'm pointing my phone, but I mean the commission book. About the Crown Act failing. It's not unexpected, but I think it's unfortunate that in that story is not mentioned the fact that a government board appointed by the governor called on the legislature to pass that act, which we did earlier this year. And that proclamation doesn't have an expiration date on it. It would apply to next session as well. I think we should empower the director to put out a press release in the beginning of the session next year. And for us to be a little more vocal, so that whether or not it moves forward, etc., it is a known in the press and the legislature that The board appointed by the governor has spoken out on this issue and has called on them to take action because God gave people hair. And that, I mean, I don't know why it's a complicated issue, but I think certainly that our voice should be there in the conversation. That's all I got.
God took mine away.
Working on mine.
Okay, so there was no new business. Next meeting is on June the 20th, 2024. And unless there's a change, we will be here. Is there any other matter?
As we are moving fully into the new building, are we going to start meeting in the new building or will we continue to meet here?
It's actually the same building. And it's across the hall from where we are temporarily now, down in the basement. That's our permanent location. So hopefully next month we will at least be able to meet in our conference space there.
So, okay, so,
It's the same, this is the same building.
okay.
Okay, there are no other business coming before this body. We can have a motion for adjournment.
Moved.
Okay,
I'll
been
second.
moved and seconded. All those in favor, raise your hand. Okay, meeting is adjourned. Thank you all for your attendance. There's Commissioner, hold it, time out, Commissioner Glenn.
He just showed up.
Yes, sir. I'm listening to you.
Good to see you.
Good to see you. How you doing?
I'm hanging in there. I'm making progress every day.
Well, that's
After
good.
this meeting, I'm going to another physical therapy session.
Okay, well, it's good to see you. Glad that you joined us.
Well, thank you very much. Take
Okay.
care of yourself.
Yeah, you do the same. Okay.
Okay, bye-bye.
Thank you.
Maria lost in sheets.
Or she lost her way. I'm not sure. I mean, it is a whole 3 floors down.
There is a chance that Archie Glenn may be here. I think.
Oh.